Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue number 9. Got a little something to say that's kind of important. I'm going to do that at the end of this review. First, I want to talk about how, holy crap, remember those old 25th anniversary covers that I try so desperately to recollect? Yeah, well, now I got these 80th anniversary collector's editions that look very similar, and I love them. Love them. Definitely collecting on these bad boys. But this issue, wow. Really cool. Let's talk about who made this comic book. We'll talk about the comic book itself, then that important message. Try and help everybody out. Saladin Ahmed and Javier Garran are the storytellers, meaning writer and artist, respectively. David Curiel on colors, VC's Corey Petit on letters, and the cover art is by Patrick O'Keefe. Stanley created Spider-Man. Steve Ditko did the pictures for him, but why don't we actually talk about the fact that Brian Michael Bendis actually created this character in and of himself? And yeah, anyway, whatever. So we got to rescue Miles, because that building where he's being kept, wow. Look, all I'm going to say is this is a really good issue that barely has Miles Morales in it. And when writers and artists decide to take the story in that direction, you know it's got to be good. Now, I could talk about how it's pretty interesting that these old men are able to cross an entire room without getting shot, even though they themselves have guns in their hands also, just to punch somebody. But, you know, whatever. I'm going to just let that one go. I'm going to let that part slide. I'm going to let a grammatical error that I saw in here, actually there's a word missing. I'm going to let that slide. I'm going to let everything slide because there was some raw emotion in this comic book, man. Miles's mom felt real. Miles's dad, what do you call it? The Uncle Aaron Davis, felt real. All of it was real. There was a moment at the very end of this where I actually started to tear up a little bit, because that emotion, man, like I said, it's raw, dude. And I'm just like, please don't say no. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it when a comic book can get me so invested in it like that. And that's exactly what this did. This is a really good comic. Definitely recommending this. Now, y'all should be knowing by now, if not you do now, that this is the cover of the next issue. All right? This could be potentially important. Look, there's going to be a new character. Okay, they're talking about, over here they said, next month, who is Ultimatum? Look, Ultimatum, remember, not the new universe, what the heck was it called? The Earth 1610, the Ultimate Universe, right? They had the Ultimates, the Ultimatum, all that good stuff. There's going to be a new character introduced in the next issue. Also, the return of, where is he? This guy, the Ultimate Green Goblin. All right? We've got a whole bunch of interesting stuff. That's the guy who killed the Ultimate Peter Parker. And then the first appearance of Miles Morales happened immediately after that. And interestingly enough, you're going to be able to get your hands on a copy of that comic book for free by the end of Oktoberfest. But this next issue, look, I've been trying to get more into understanding speculators and what they do and whatnot. These guys who go and they know in advance what comic books could be pretty cool, so, you know, they speculate. This comic book could be something important. People could go crazy over this. Let me go and buy this comic book, and I'll sell it for, you know, I bought it for $5, $4, whatever. Let me sell it for $20 on eBay. And hey, if nobody buys it, that's cool. I'm going to still hold on to this, because all of a sudden, a year from now, we might find out that, hey, this is actually one of the top-selling indie comics, or a new character was introduced in here. You know, look at what happened with Captain Marvel. Kelly Thompson made issue number 8 of Captain Marvel. People were like, you know, oh, wow, it's a brand new character in here. And then one person said, oh, wow, hey, I remember this character. They introduced her without her costume in issue number 1. So all of a sudden issue 1 goes up, and anybody who had that issue, they turn around and they start selling it for buku dollars on eBay and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? People talk about Overstreet Price Guide. That is a joke. It's fun for nostalgia purposes for old people like us. You know what I'm saying? Old people like me, right? But in reality, eBay is what your comic book dealer uses. That's what everybody uses for the most part to determine how much the price of a comic book actually is. Because even when I was a kid in the 90s, I'd walk in with an overstreet price guide and people would just be like, like, hey, can I sell you this comic book? The price guide says it's worth $100. Yeah, but here it's only worth 10. Well, I'm going to go to a different comic book store. And they're all saying about the same thing. Because the overstreet price guide doesn't mean much of anything. There wasn't even an eBay back then. You just go by word of mouth. How much people come in and they say, do you have this book? Because I'd really like to buy this book. Or if nobody says that. So it's about the turnover rate. It's about what you can make. So in order to try and avoid the speculator thing, this should be a fairly easy one. Issue number 10, Miles Morales Spider-Man, coming out next month. My recommendation, you have a pull list. You have a pull bin. If you don't, you should have one at your local comic book store. You should definitely have one. If they cost money, I would recommend going to a different comic book store. That's just my opinion. If they give you a discount on comic books because you have a pull list, stay with them and forever be nice to them. Offer them free massages once in a while. In the meantime, just your pull bin is and a little bit of preparation, a little bit of arming ourselves with knowledge is a way to help to proof yourself against the speculators. Hey, the speculators are still going to be able to make their money because there's still going to be people who don't watch this or other videos like this telling them about, hey, what's what? Or people who themselves don't know about this. But my recommendation, as my nose starts whistling, is to put this next issue in your pull list. I would recommend putting the title in your pull list because you know that the issue is only going to start with the next the storyline is going to start with the next issue. And I think that this team of Ahmed Garan and Curiel have proven themselves more than amply. So I would recommend putting the title in your pull list. But worst case scenario, at least put the next issue in your pull list. This way, your comic book dealer, he's like, oh, hey, I need to order. I got 10 people asking for this in the pull list. I'd like to have 10 copies out on the shelf, so get me 20 copies. Now you're taking a chance, all right, in that particular scenario, a 1 in 10 chance that you're going to get one of those 10 copies before a speculator comes in, surprise, and says, give me all your copies. Give me 3 of those copies. Or just regular people coming in, I like one, I like one, I like one, but you can be 100% sure you get yours, or at least 90% sure, because it might be too late to order it, who knows. But if you call up your comic book store now, or today's Wednesday, when I release this video, call them, go in there, and tell them, put the next issue, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, issue number 10, Saladin Ahmed, put it on my pull list for next month. And I'll come and they'll have it waiting for you. Come into your comic book store. Hey, the issue's out. Cool. Can I have it on my pull list? When the shelves are empty, your box still has your book in it. I'm just suggesting this. All right, guys. That's going to be it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.